Step 3. Activate and develop the upper register, CT dominant phonation. How your voice works. The larynx. The larynx, along with the vocal folds, is part of the phonation system. The larynx, the housing of the vocal folds, is an acorn-sized protuberance made of cartilage. The male larynx is larger than the female larynx because the male vocal folds are larger. The male larynx is also formed at a sharper angle than the female larynx. It is a 90-degree angle, while the female larynx is a softer 120-degree angle. The larynx is movable and is affected by the action of the extrinsic swallowing muscles of the neck surrounding it. When we swallow, the larynx is pulled upward by these extrinsic muscles. When we sing, those muscles should not engage. The larynx should be comfortably neutral and relaxed. Most singers unknowingly engage extrinsic muscle and hike the larynx as they approach the top notes of the lower register, unless they have learned how to transition through the primo passaggio or first bridge correctly. Muscles that attach the larynx to something outside itself are called extrinsic muscles. The extrinsic muscles are responsible for raising and lowering the larynx. The larynx elevates several centimeters when we swallow. It lowers several centimeters when we yawn or take a relaxed and deep breath. In swallowing, a group of sphincter muscles are muscles that surround and constrict an opening, force the larynx upward and seal the air passage. Activating these swallowing or sphincter muscles is antithetical to good singing. Here are some graphics from the book, The Vocal Folds and Larynx, and the extrinsic muscles of the neck. And we can see the suprahyoid elevator muscles. Those are the ones that draw the larynx upward when we swallow. The larynx is the protective cartilage that houses the vocal folds. The correct pronunciation, by the way, is larynx, not larynx. The larynx should remain relaxed and stable during singing. Most untrained singers hike the larynx for high notes using the extrinsic swallowing muscles, known as the suprahyoid elevator muscles. Tools for training voices. Vowels. Vowels, from the Latin word vocalis, meaning uttering voice, are sounds in which the vocal tract is open. Vowels form the nucleus or center of a syllable. Because the vocal tract is open and the articulators don't move when singing vowels, the resonance frequencies are more stable. When we sustain notes in singing, we do so on vowels, not consonants, usually. All great singing is based on exceptional vowel production. Vowels and tongue position. Vowels are formed mostly by various alterations of the shape of the tongue, with help from the lips for the rounded vowels only. U as in you, O as in go, and U as in good. Vowels are categorized largely by the shape and position of the constriction or hump of the tongue. The constriction of the tongue divides the oral cavity into the mouth and pharynx. The constriction of the tongue is the middle area that can arch upward for vowels such as E or flatten for vowels such as ah. Aside from the formation of rounded vowels, the lips should remain largely neutral. There's no need to grimace like a Halloween jack-o'-lantern to say the vowel E, as in eat, for instance. Teaching the step. In step 3, we are activating and developing the upper register, the area of the voice above the first bridge or primo passaggio. To sing these higher pitches, the vocal folds lengthen and thin due to the CT or cricothyroid muscles tilting the thyroid cartilage downward. When that happens, you are singing with less vocal fold vibrating mass. For most of us, this doesn't seem natural. You have to learn to allow this change to happen. It's a bit like driving a car with a manual gear shift. You have to learn when and where to shift gears to avoid a bumpy ride. Our first objective in step 3 is to help you sing higher pitches with release or a lack of strain. Later, we strengthen and develop that upper register so that it eventually matches the power and tone quality of the lower register. We always want the mouth opening to be neutral, avoiding the tendency to spread the lips for high notes. To achieve this mouth position, we say jaw down, corners in, neutral mouth. On the left, you can see the front vowels, E, I, A, E, A. Central vowels are unstressed as in about, the in gun, and the back vowels. Most of them are rounded vowels, U, O, O, and then the unrounded ah, as in father. Objectives of step 3. Objective 1 is to sing the pitch without strain. To begin the process of learning to sing higher pitches, the student must first experience singing high notes with release. For the unbalanced pulled lower singer, this will be a new experience. The pulled lower category singer might only be able to manage a breathy falsetto sound in the upper register at first. When we sing from the lower register to the upper register, the vocal folds transition from shorter and thicker, or TA dominant, to longer and thinner, or CT dominant. Extrinsic muscle engagement or tension will impede this process. In order to find a free upper register, your student must release just enough and not too much as they transition through the first bridge or primo passaggio. We call this connected release. If the singer lets go too much, they will experience a flip or voice break. If they don't release enough, they will pull too much weight through the first passaggio, creating strain. Another way of thinking about this is that the TA or thyroarytenoid muscle decreases activity as pitch ascends. When singing correctly in the upper register, the voice should be energized, clear, and powerful, but not forced. We use the closed vowels oo and e to encourage a free tone in the upper register. Objective 2. To increase vocal fold adduction. Once release is achieved, the student then begins to improve vocal fold adduction and power in the upper register. Objective 3. The student learns to sing the beginning pulse vibrato in the upper register. Category-based objectives. All categories need improved strength in the upper register. For all categories, the objective is to create better vocal fold adduction and closed quotient in the upper register, first with hooty imposed sounds and later with adducted onset exercises. Exercises occur above the first bridge. The spiral learning concept. First, discover. The student experiences a new and better coordination above the first bridge that is free from strain. Second, round is develop, reinforcing and strengthening the new coordination by increasing vocal fold adduction and closed quotient. And third, the student develops automatic habits. A new neuromuscular habit is created by consistent focused repetition over time. SLAS spiral learning. Discovery, experiencing a new and better coordination. Development, reinforcing the new coordination with focused repetition over time. Automatic habits are formed from focused repetition over time. Order of priorities. Activation with release. Round 1. Singing in the upper register without strain. This might mean that the unbalanced pulled lower singer's voice is breathy at first. The timbre is hooty or whoop, pure head. The larynx is low. The jaw is dropped. The lips do not move to a lateral grin on the E vowels. Palm on the chin with thumb and finger on either side of the mouth. Adduction, round 2. Once the singer has experienced this new coordination, they must increase efficiency in vocal fold adduction at the onset of tone for a stronger and clearer sound. As in all things, we want just enough but not too much adduction and compression. If a singer overcompresses, the sound will be squeezed and pressed with excessive air pressure. If the vocal folds do not adduct enough, the result is a breathy and anemic, weak sound. 3. Development, round 3. In these advanced exercises, the objective is to develop greater strength in the upper register while maintaining a balance between air pressure and the vocal folds. Exercises. Reminder, always wear the SLAS breathing belt. Teaching tip, palm, thumb, and index finger. Have the student place the palm of the hand on the chin and the thumb and index finger on either side of the mouth to prevent spreading. You create a V with your hand, and the mouth is between the thumb and the fingers.
Step 3. In Step 3, we are activating and developing the upper register, the area of the voice above the first bridge or primo passaggio. To sing these higher pitches, the vocal folds lengthen and thin due to the CT or cricothyroid muscles tilting the thyroid cartilage downward. When that happens, you are singing with less vocal fold vibrating mass. For most of us, this doesn't seem natural. You have to learn to allow this change to happen. It's a bit like driving a car with a manual gear shift. You have to learn when and where to shift the gears to avoid a bumpy ride. Our first objective in Step 3 is to help you sing higher pitches with release or a lack of strain. Later, we strengthen and develop the upper register so that it eventually matches the power and tone quality of the lower register. We always want the mouth opening to be neutral, avoiding the tendency to spread the lips for high notes. To achieve this mouth position, we say Jaw down, corners in, neutral mouth. The more stable and neutral the mouth position is, by avoiding the wide grimace, the easier it is to maintain consistently correct tone. Our first exercise is the woo-wee exercise. It should be sung clearly and strong. If it's breathy or raspy, there's an imbalance between air pressure and the vocal folds. The key is always balance. As always, just enough and not too much of everything. This means air pressure, vocal fold adduction, and volume. In step 3, you will also learn about tongue independence with the ah-ee exercise. We need to develop independence between the tongue and the jaw, because when we sing high notes, the jaw must drop, but the tongue still needs to clearly form vowels. The tongue should be arched high and forward for the E vowel. In step 3, we use what are known as closed vowels to encourage free vocal production in the upper register. A closed vowel is one formed with the tongue closer to the upper teeth. An open vowel gives us a chestier sound and is formed with a lower tongue position. Remember, you don't need your lips to form vowels other than oo, and o, the lip-rounded vowels. There's no need to grimace to form the E vowel. This just adds tension. The mouth should be neutral, so we use the thumb and the finger to help us. Place your thumb on one side of your mouth, not on your cheeks, and the finger on the other side of the mouth. Drop the jaw. This is the correct position for singing. Look at the vowel track image in the images book. You can see how the tongue position changes from high and forward on the E vowel to lower and flatter on the A vowel. The closed vowels give us more release or a headier quality. The open vowels give us more hold or a chestier quality. Tongue position, therefore, is vitally important. Comparative tongue position for front, central, and back vowels. Vowels are created largely by the position of the tongue. Notice the difference between the vowel E, as in eat, where the tongue is high and forward, and the vowel ah, as in father, where the tongue is low and flat. Tongue position dramatically affects your singing and how easy or hard it will be for you to sing through the passaggi or bridges. Front vowels in order from most closed to most open are E, I, A, A. Back vowels in order from most closed to most open are oo, o, ah. The back vowels oo, o, aw are called lip-rounded vowels. These vowels require rounding of the lips to be formed properly. The central vowels are the unaccented as in about and as in gun. Front vowels E, I, A, A. Back vowels oo, o, ah. Round 1. Here's our first exercise, the high call. Make sure the student has the palm of the hand on the chin, the jaw is dropped, the thumb and finger are on either side of the mouth. Make sure they're watching in the mirror. Woo-wee! So if they're giving you woo-woo, okay, time for that tongue independence exercise. But if they give you woo-wee and the jaw is dropped, don't worry about it, move on. All right, once they can do woo-wee, this is providing release. This is what we call whoop timbre, where it's time to give it a little more energy with the staccato high call. Yee, yee! Make sure this is real short and sharp on that first one. Yee, yee! Not yee, yee, but yee, like a little doggy barking. Yee! Round 2. Round 2. This is where we start to increase vocal fold adduction. Most singers need better vocal fold adduction in the upper register.
Again, the objective is a clear tone. Once the folds remain adducted on a short note, it's time to sustain. And then we're going to bring it down. Don't let them flip over to chest voice with these exercises. What we're trying to do is to develop this CT dominant type of phonation as we go through the bridge. So in step 3, we stay in the head voice or upper register even as we go through this bridge area. Sequential skill building, we're going to go down and come up. And again, this is all upper register phonation. We don't flip over into chest voice or lower register. We stay in the upper. Monkey voice. And now a slide. Make sure they're really sliding on these notes, not just going from one note to the next, but hitting every note in between. Round 3. In round 3, we begin our pulse vibrato exercises. Again, make sure that eval is very clear and that your hiss is connected. Not. Now we'll move from the 3 pulse to the 5 pulse. And then we're going to use adduct and 5 pulse. Then move to the slide and walk with the 5 pulse. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Be specific about the pulses at this stage. All right, 3 and 5 vibrato. And we'll eventually do that fast. As a reminder, these alternate options, these are for when the student has achieved the objectives of the given syllable. When you use the alternate syllables, they are more advanced, and also there's no vocal demo on these, so you'll have to demonstrate these yourself. But for now, start with the 3 pulse slow, go to the 5 pulse slow, 5 pulse at the end, etc. And then as we spiral, as we continue learning and get better and more advanced skills, you can use these alternate syllables. Yay, yeah, things like that. Test your knowledge. To review, complete the Test Your Knowledge section in Step 3 after reading the chapter in the manual.